Greetings and thanks for tuning into my latest video. As always, Gordon Causey, otherwise known sometimes as Gordy Canuck. If you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, pardon me while I adjust my laptop. I like to have that picture over my shoulder. Um, I will be uploading this video on Saturday, the 31st of May, 2025. And I just wanted to do a very quick video. Hopefully, this will be fast about the stabbing incident that took place in Pickering on Thursday, late afternoon, early evening. I think it was on Lynn Heights, is the name of the street. And as regular viewers of my channel should be aware or might be aware, I was a longtime resident of Pickering, so I know the area very well. I know the area where the stabbing took place. And I'm not getting into the details of the actual stabbing in gross detail. I don't, the reporting is what the reporting is. A 14-year-old has been apprehended. He is charged apparently with murder, second degree, first degree, I don't know. And um, we'll see how that plays out. What I'm more concerned with, and what I wanted to do my video on, was talking about the reaction to this horrible event. And I'm going to read the text of an article that was published by Post Media, and just the end section of it. Um, I'll include the link to the news story in the description to this video or in the comments. It says at the end of this article, the city of Pickering said on social media that it has closed all public facilities, including community centers and library branches. All scheduled city programs and classes are also canceled until further notice, the city said in a statement. I found that to be remarkable that the city would go to that extent. Apparently, text alerts were sent out to people in a very broad geographic area. I have one social media follower who tells me that she was notified in Peterborough. And the mainstream is reporting that these text messages went as far as into York and Toronto areas. And shelter in place orders were sent out, or perhaps it would be better framed as a shelter in place advisory. But it brought to mind the COVID era, certainly. When you hear the word shelter in place, probably the first place your mind goes to is COVID. Shelter in place, stay home, stay safe, all that stuff. And uh, on the surface, it seemed the rationale seems logical to a degree, if you don't think about it too hard. There's a suspect, a dangerous suspect at large, has stabbed what seems to be a random individual, an elderly woman, and she eventually died. So we're dealing with a murderer here. And so everyone stay home, lock your doors, stay in the house. And the city of Pickering is closing the library, community centers, canceling all community-based programs until the order was lifted when this kid, the 14-year-old, was apprehended. However, ruminating on this, it occurs to me, and I did some checking, as things currently stand, there are quite literally dozens of murderers at large who are being sought by police across Canada. And I know that, murder is not a common occurrence. Uh, my town, I think there was a murder 2 or 3 years ago. It's not something that happens all the time. But are we going to be faced with a situation where whenever a murder does take place, is this going to become standard operating procedure to instruct the population to shelter in place and for all, social activities, all government related facility, everyone shut down because there's a murderer at large? And right now, as I say, there are dozens, literally. Just do some reading up on it. you can find the information easily enough. There are quite literally dozens of individuals charged or suspected of murder at large in Canada. And does that warrant that type of response? My concern is that we are being conditioned, programmed to be fearful of everything, be fearful of going outside. There are dangerous people out there. And the simple fact of the matter is, life is risky. We risk every time you walk out the door, regardless, you're at risk. Motor vehicle accidents happen all the time. People are hit by cars. People fall off their bikes. There are dog attacks. There are all manner of things that happen on a day-to-day basis. And when you have a vulnerable population who's psychologically frail and prone to overreacting to things, my goodness. I mean, there are still people walking around in 2025 wearing masks outside. Not many, thankfully, but they're noticeable. They're around. And it strikes me that that's the type of individual who may just, go all in on, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid. I'm so scared. I hope the government keeps me safe. And this is something I think that should be concerning to every freedom loving person because, it's that old line of Ronald Reagan's the 9 scariest words in the English language are I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And are we being conditioned to live in a near constant state of fear? And I'll wrap it up by saying this. If you've been on my channel before, you will know that I I love this book. I don't know if you can see it on the spine there. This is the Holy Bible. This is scripture. And we are not to live in a state of fear. Christians are informed when we get into this book that we are not home. We are visiting here. We are visiting this existence. This is not our permanent home. Our permanent home is in glory. And so, but while we are here, we are to advance God's kingdom. And it's hard to reach people when they're living in a state of fear. And it strikes me, and my concern is that we just had a throne speech by King Charles. And during that speech, these were the government of Canada, Mark Carney's Liberal government, gave him the words to speak. And paraphrasing, King Charles said that Canadians and everyone around the world that we are living in the most dangerous times since World War II. And when the subtext to that statement is be afraid, be very, very afraid. And when I hear that type of rhetoric being bandied about, it strikes me that is the language of the enemy. And by the enemy, I mean the prince of this world, otherwise known as Satan. So that's my video on this particular topic on the Pickering stabbing. Is this going to become the new normal? That whenever there's a murder, that are we going to suddenly be told to shelter in place and are we going to shut down community activities, municipal offices, and maybe more? Will it go beyond that? Uh, something to, it's something to think on. Anyway, you're welcome to like, share, subscribe, the whole YouTube thing, and to share your comments down below. Am I overreacting? I may very well be. I hope I am, but maybe I'm not. Only time will tell. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching. And again, you're welcome to subscribe. We'll talk to you later. Good night.